What's up YouTube, this is Jacob Bender with our fourth Flash game development tutorial. In the last tutorial what we did is we basically we went through the process of making our character go to an overworld. And as you can see, I made a little changes. I gave it, a static background, and then I added some actual scenery that goes with the character. By the way, if you want to make any scenery that flows with the level, you just put it in our scenery movie clip, and if you want it to be stationary, meaning it stays there no matter what, you just place it behind it. For instance, let's take a look. If I continue, as you see, the bushes move, but the background in the back stays. So that's basically all I did, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so if we go ahead and head over to our overworld, make sure all that you see is exactly the size of your movie. For instance, if I take off pasteboard, I only see what is part of my movie. I can't edit anything out of there. So once you've done that, a nifty little tool I've learned is, oh, that is not what I'm wanting to do. Cancel. If you go to View, Rulers, and you actually grid the flash, meaning you drag a couple grid lines, this will help you, when editing things outside, knowing what is fully in your movie. Like, let's say I had, whoa, no, I can't move that. I know this is rational, but let's say I had something like that. We can clearly tell what's going to be seen. This is not, and that is whatever's inside these lines. This is just a nifty little trick. Anyways, let's go on. Okay, so first of all, we want to create a symbol for our town. So let's go ahead and take our oval tool. Let's do a little red. Give it a black outline. I'm going to give mine a stroke of 3. And just make a small little icon. And go ahead and highlight that, hit F8. We're going to convert this to a button. Make sure the registration's on center. I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll just name it town_button. Alright, let's just go ahead and place it right there. So now we can just add some basic text. We'll call it Town 1. That's way too big. And let's just make it black. Take it down a notch. There. I want to add a little bold, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, that's right. Style. Bold. There we go. Okay, that looks better. So as you see, now we have a label for Town 1. And let's go ahead and take the two and copy them twice. So we'll place one semi-close, and we'll place one completely far away. We'll label this one Town 2, and this one Town 3. And we'll create the actual towns later. For right now, we're just going to be, describing distance between 2 points. Now, I know there are some formulas to actually track the distance between 2 points. I don't actually know that formula by heart. So what we're actually going to do is a simpler method. We'll go up to our actions layer, and we're going to create a couple of variables. Alright, so let's create a variable called town1 and set it equal to, well, 1. Yeah. Okay, then we're going to go to create one called town2 and set that equal to 2. And town3, set that equal to 3. I know this is a very black and white example. This won't work in all situations, but in our case it will. Actually, it's good to create maybe one more town somewhere in the middle. We'll label this one 3, the one all the way out here 4. move town 3 somewhat close. Okay, there we go. And just like we did with all the other towns, go ahead and create a variable called town 4. Set that equal to 4. Alright, so next we're going to create our little time bar. Go ahead and take our rectangle tool and go ahead and do no fill for right now. About 2.5 stroke. And make sure we're in another layer and make a decent sized bar. About that big. Alright, we're just going to place that at the bottom. We're going to convert this to a movie clip, call it not travel bar. And we're going to give it back. Do not make it a button. I didn't see that. I made it a button. You need to make it a movie clip. And go ahead and give it, just for etiquette, just a left registration. And we'll go, again, call it travel bar. Alright, now within our travel bar, we're actually going to create a new layer, lock our outline, and we're going to create a red bar, or whatever color you want, that doesn't matter, it's up to you. And just make sure to create something about the actual size. Bring it over. Go ahead, hit Q. Drag this over so you move it from the left. And drag all the way over. Okay. Now we're going to take that shape we just created, hit F8. We're going to make that a movie clip. And this one has to have a registration of left right there. And this one we're actually just going to call bar. Okay, we're going to give it an instance of bar. And we're actually going to go back and also give our entire bar, excuse me, an instance of travel_bar. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and set one more thing in our actions layer. Call it travel_bar.bar._x scale equal to 0. Now what this will do is if we see when we test our movie, we'll go ahead and head to the overworld. Our bar is gone. And what it is it's not actually gone. What we did is we modified its X scale. An item's X scale is basically its entire shape in 100% format. Meaning if we set it to, let's say, 73, we go ahead and do our overworld. That's 73% of the actual size of the bar. So what we do is we just set it to 0. It's the easiest way, because if we set it, if we tracked it by how actually big, by let's say we use travelbar._width equals, let's say, 100. What that will return is, depending on the size of our flash, it will turn up actual 100 pixels. So that's why we use X scale. And right now we're not going to actually track the distance between different towns. What we're going to do is we're just going to create the functionality of when you click on a town, a travel bar appears. And what we can do is we can just, depending on, okay, forget that. We're just going to create it to where it makes the bar move. Alright, now we're going to we're going to create a function called we'll call it function travel. It's going to take no parameters. And we'll say if _route dot, we'll just say if traveling equals true. Oh, and just keep in mind, when using a conditional like an if statement, you want to use double equals. This is a conditional, while this is an operator, or a assignment operator, meaning this would basically be saying if traveling set equal true, which is an invalid statement. It's not a conditional, which means up here we actually have to go ahead and settle it to traveling equals false, because if they're coming to the world map, they're not traveling yet, not until they click a button. Alright, and then we're going to say if traveling equals true, then underscore, we're going to say travel bar dot, whoops, travel underscore bar dot underscore x scale plus equals 1. Now, we could do that, leave it at this, but the only problem is even if it goes above 100, it doesn't stop because we have no conditional, so we need to create one more if statement saying if travel underscore bar dot underscore x scale is less than 100 to go ahead and do this statement. Else, and now this is say if traveling equals true and the bar's x scale is above 100, what we need to do is we actually need to set traveling equals false, because that means they've reached their destination, and we'll go ahead and do a trace saying successfully traveled. Alright, and so now what we need to do is say on enter frame equals function, and we need to constantly run our function here, so we'll just say travel. So if you notice, if we just go to our overworld, oh whoops, we forgot to reset it back to 0. There we go. Okay, as you see, our bar is empty and it won't do anything. Let's say we want to click on town 2. Nothing happens. That's because what we didn't do is we haven't set traveling equal true. So what we're going ahead to do is on our buttons, type in on release underscore root dot traveling equals true. I'm going to copy that for all the buttons. Whoops. Okay, so now if we test our movie, and let's say we want to go to town 3. There goes our bar. And once it reaches 100, it stops. It says successfully traveled up here. And voila, that's it. In the next tutorial, because I'm running a bit out of time on this one, in the next tutorial what we're going to go over is we're going to go over how to make sure, how to check which town a player's in, how to make a random occurrence during that, and if that random occurrence happens, to stop the bar, and then maybe try and track how far a player is from each town. So this has been Jacob Bender. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Later.